Hey guys, it's Jimmy Kerr back for another one of our videos on the mortgage loan process. Um, Today, we're going to kind of talk about everything else. We've done videos on what do I do to get approved for a home, or how do I find out if I can get approved for a home mortgage. We've talked about the payment. We've talked about the loan documentation. We've talked about the loan application. We've talked about all those things. So now you've done all that, okay, and you've called us. We've got you pre-qualified. You found a house. You've signed your sales contract. You brought us in your information. We've done your pre-disclosures, and we know what we're doing. So now we're getting ready to roll with the loan. So what happens next? So the very first thing that we do is we order an appraisal, and then we're going to order your title work. Now the appraisal, of course, is to determine the value of the property that you're purchasing. Now, value is not the only thing that's looked at. Of course, that's key. The property has to appraise for at least the sales price. In pretty much every loan case, or not pretty much every loan case, there are some loans when you're doing like rural housing and things like that where you can finance closing costs in that you do want the appraisal to be a little bit higher if at all possible. But so we look at the value, but the way that they get the value or the way that an appraiser gets that value is also incredibly important. They are looking for homes in the market, in the surrounding area, that are similar to the home that you're purchasing, that have sold in the past 12 months. And that's how they determine the value. It's called a comparable sale. So they're looking for at least three homes that have sold in the last 12 months that are similar to yours in the surrounding market. And if they have to go outside the area or they can't find, homes that are similar that have sold, sometimes that can create what's called a unique property. And sometimes that causes an issue with the appraisal. Now, that is not real common. I mean, I'm going to say 1 in every 100 as far as actually having a unique property, because it's pretty straightforward what we do as far as home purchases. And having value issues has really not been an issue either. I'm going to say that's probably 1 out of every 100 loans as well. So we order that appraisal so that we can determine the value, and then we order the title search. Now, the title search is exactly what it sounds like. Our attorney does a deed or title search on the property to make sure that your property has a clean title when you purchase it. They're checking for tax liens. They're checking for mortgages. They're checking to make sure that the property has transferred properly over the years between buyer to buyer. So they're going to check all that out and make sure that we're good to go. So while we're waiting on the title and appraisal, we've got those things ordered. And while we're waiting on that, we're going to submit everything that you've given us to our underwriter at the investors that we deal with. The underwriter is going to do the exact same thing that we've already done. They're going to go through the file, they're going to tear it apart, try to find a reason to turn you down. And if they come up with something, then they're going to tell us what we need to do to fix that. As I said in a previous video, everybody that's involved throughout every step of the process is actually in it for you. They're trying to help you get a house. If we turn down every single loan we do, we wouldn't have much of a business, right? So everybody's in the process to try to help you get into the home, but the underwriter reviews everything that we've collected, and then they decide and tell us, based on the guidelines for that particular loan, is there anything else we need? And a lot of people will ask me, well, what kind of things do they ask for? Well, it's really hard to say because it varies from loan to loan. Sometimes they'll want an updated pay stub. Maybe there's some deposits into your bank account that we need to document, things like that. And I mean, it can maybe a correction on the appraisal. There's just a thousand things that they can ask for and do. But they ask for those things, and we get all those things collected and resubmitted while we're waiting on the appraisal and the title work to come in. So once the appraisal and title work come in, primarily the appraisal, we're going to go ahead and have you start working on your homeowner's insurance at that time. Now, the way that we do it, I actually prepare an email. I attach the appraisal to it, and then I put all the pertinent information that your insurance representative is going to need from us to do your insurance quote. And then they'll, of course, need some information from you as well to be able to do that. But we'll send an email to you that you can forward out to as many insurance agents as you want to determine your best price for insurance. So we do that. Now we've got appraisal title in, you're getting your insurance ready, that comes back in, all that is submitted back to the underwriter. And we are looking for what's called a clear to close. So the clear to close, you'll hear us say that a lot. That basically says, okay, you can now start the closing process. So that means that we have documented everything. We have done everything that we need to do to process the loan. Now we get to close that bad boy. So the closing, I get clear to close, I'd be closing the next day. Doesn't work like that anymore. There's a guideline now, it's called TRID, and there's a government mandated 3-day waiting period. So the whole closing process now takes about a week. You'll be clear to close, and it probably takes almost a week to actually get you to the table. So we get clear to close. We send a request to our attorney to complete a closing statement or the closing disclosure. It's the same thing as we talked about earlier, the loan estimate. This now is called a closing disclosure. It looks identical, but it's called a closing disclosure. We request that to be prepared by the attorney. The attorney sends that back to us. Once it's done, we review it, and then it goes to our investor for them to sign off on final approval. Once they have done that, there's an email sent to us that says, hey, this is approved. It's ready to send to the borrower. We email that to you, and you will put in a 4-digit PIN number that you have chosen to verify that you received it. We get an email back, and that starts that 3-day waiting period. So the way it kind of works is, say we get it on a Monday, right? So we've got that email out to you, and it's a Monday. So you've got Tuesday, Wednesday, and we can sign on Thursday. If it's on a Tuesday, we sign on Friday. If it's on a Wednesday, we're going to sign on the Saturday. If it's a Thursday, we're going to sign on the following Monday. But that is mandated, and you cannot skip that for any reason whatsoever. Okay? So you get that 3-day waiting period, and then we will actually, while we're waiting on that 3 days to pass, we'll actually schedule a time for you and your seller to meet along with the realtors that are involved. And we'll schedule that time for you to meet and sign. You come in here, we get your documentation signed up, get a funding number from our investor, and bam, you are a homeowner. And it's as simple as that. Now, I explained that in about 3 minutes. It actually takes, like I said, about a week to actually process the whole thing. So that's kind of the backside of the deal. Once you have applied, we pulled your credit, we've got your credit approved, you brought in your loan documentation, income, bank statements, things like that. You get a sales contract on the house. You come in, sign pre-disclosures. We order your appraisal and your title work. While we're waiting on those things to come back, your file is submitted to underwriting for the underwriting approval. Whatever they ask for, we get while we're waiting on the appraisal and title work to come back. Once those things come in, we get the insurance. Insurance comes in, and we send it in for the clear to close, and then we send you that final closing disclosure with the 3-day waiting period. And then, like I said, we close, and you're a homeowner. So that is, in a very, very short sentence, the loan process. So that's really, as far as on the loan process is concerned, that's probably the last video that I'll do on that. Now, I intend, next week is Christmas, so I probably won't do one next week. But the next few videos that I do will be based specifically on the products themselves. Now, we did a video on the products, but I'm actually going to take each individual product and go through them individually in separate videos. And I think that'll be beneficial so that I can get into some more detail on each individual program. And so when you're working with a borrower or a new borrower, they can actually go to one of these videos and learn a little more about the loan. So with that said, I appreciate you watching the video. I hope you found it informative. Please go to our Facebook page and like and share the video. Also, go to our YouTube channel and subscribe and like the video there as well. All that helps us out trying to get the word out to potential buyers in our area. So with that said, Jimmy Kerr, My Hometown Mortgage. You can give us a call at 606-432-6832. Right now, you're seeing on our webpage on the screen. You can go there and apply and get plenty of information as well. So I'll let you guys be, and I will wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And until the next time, stay safe. Thanks a lot, guys.